Hello there and welcome back to the Fandoms Edge Podcast, your home for discussions for games, TV, film and everything in between. My name is Tom and in this episode of the podcast I'm going to be chatting about some upcoming game releases, the debate surrounding Le Mans Ultimate's new event Joker system, and Steam's latest gifting improvements. But as usual, gaming roundup for the week. Now, I had a few more in here, but I have a thing about generative AI. And the ones I initially did choose, included it. So we've got 3 today I'm going to highlight. I can't obviously mention everything. All of these today are going to be Steam games at the moment. And at the moment, by the time you're listening or watching on YouTube, there is a Steam's Train Fest on as well. So expect train games to be on sale, like Train Sim World, for example. Train Sim World 6 is 80% off right now. But then again, Train Sim World 7 is like probably really around the corner. So let's get into them. First of all is a sort of tycoon simulator on the 22nd, Aquapark Tycoon, which is for a water park. So you design and customize water slides, pools, saunas to fulfill your guest needs. There is a demo available if you want to sort of grab that. Bear in mind it might not be available by the time it's actually launched, but at the time that I've sort of organized everything and recorded the podcast, then there is one available. It is an early access title. I know some people might be pushed away because it's early access, but it is early access. It is £20.70, but it does have an introductory offer, which are lots of indie games and games that just launched tend to do. They do this 10% off, and that is applicable till July 29th. Next of all, we have Dino Blade on the 23rd. This is something that particularly one of my friends has been interested in, because if you like dinosaurs, then yeah. It's an action RPG set in a prehistoric world. You step into the role of a young Spinosaurus wielding a colossal great sword. It is £17.75. but 10% off until July 30th with its introductory offer, and it's starting off on very positive reviews, because by the time I'm recording this, it's already out. Yeah. And finally, 24th of July, we've got Arctic Shift Fuel Station. Operate a remote fuel station deep in the Arctic, manage customers, supplies, and vital systems while surviving brutal weather, wildlife, and isolation. You have resources through hands-on activities, including chopping woods, snow clearing, and station maintenance. Explore remote locations such as warehouses, sawmills, depots, and utility facilities. That's sort of my sort of game, isn't it? A bit of simulator, a bit of sort of survival. Yeah, more than likely something that I definitely would have a look at. Now, let's get into our first topic. Le Mans Ultimate is the topic of discussion for this week. Now, if you've been on the podcast before, and if Joe was here still, he would do his old Le Mans Ultimate joke, wouldn't he? He would be like, why is it called Le Mans Ultimate if there's more than one track of, because there's a range of tracks. Yeah. Well, we're not going to get into that because he's not here, and we're not going to give him the pleasure of being here by not being here. If he wants to make the joke, he just come on the podcast. Anyway, so Le Mans Ultimate has included a feature that's quite controversial, and that's what we're going to talk about. But this is part of Le Mans Ultimate's version 1.4 release on the 28th of July. So they put out a video, usually a week before, announcing everything, the main features, and then the update comes. Now, this is actually alongside the new US Track Pass. But let's give credit where credit is due. There's a bunch of amazing improvements in this new patch. Improvements to Live Steward, protests, brand new online infrastructure called RateOS, new brake thermal simulation, and a lot more. I'll actually talk about the DLC as well, but I do want to cover the event Joker system that sparked some debate online with the community. Now, in between me making the podcast, creating it, doing all the notes, and actually recording it, they've actually done an update on this. So I'll tell you what I think first, and then I'll tell you about the update afterwards. So that'll be right at the end of this topic, because they have actually listened and they've made a change. So, to get you up to speed, they've introduced something called Event Jokers. Now, these are going to be introduced for Pro and Pro Plus members. And if you have no idea what that means, let me explain. Basically, the Pro and Pro Plus is a subscription model. So, you've got your DLC, you've got your pay game, and you've got your subscription model. And for the light version, you get a driver profile, weekly events, special events, daily races, practice servers. You join and create hosted servers, but they do cost credits extra. A free team, so a team of 6 members in one lineup. And then you've got so everybody has that, by the way. Then you've got Pro, which is £36 a year or £5.99 a month. Without UK VAT, by the way. Do you know what? I've known about Race Control, Pro and Pro Plus for ages, since they first introduced it. I didn't realise actually how cheap that is. That's quite cheap. Obviously, including VAT, it will be like £40 a year. But £40 a year is pretty damn good. Yeah, that's pretty good. They are actually running a sale right now as well. For the new update. 24% off if you pick the monthly plan and 10% off the yearly. So the Pro has everything in light, plus the premium team rather than the basic team, where you get 100 members, 10 lineups. You get custom liveries, which in my opinion should be part of the base game. Up for debate for that. Online championships, extended registration. So if you have light, you can only register for the next event that's upcoming. Anything else, you need to wait. If you've got the Pro subscription, you can do that ahead of time. Instant protests as well, but those are for online championships only. And then Pro Plus is £64 a year or £10.99 a month. You get Light and Pro, and the big thing about Pro Plus is you get the LMU and R Factor 2 DLC within that, which means if that subscription goes away, that DLC, yeah, you don't have it anymore. So if you don't have the DLC, and you're okay paying that a year or 11 quid a month, then that's the option that you would tend to go for. So, yes, that's your context for the subscription model, what you get. So let's talk about the Joker facts first. So, in the update video, they basically said that players can earn 1 event Joker every 10 races. Event Jokers can be used from the event results screen. So after you've done your race, you can use one. Using an event joker removes the driver rank impact from that race. Using an event joker also removes the safety rating impact from that race. Your race position, by the way, does not change. The race still counts as an attempt in championships. Event jokers cannot be used to improve championship results, and players can hold a maximum of 3 event jokers, and event jokers can apply to single driver events. They cannot be used in team races. And just to note, I've been seeing a lot of comments saying that they're only for online championship. This was not mentioned at all. Mr. Hood did not say this in his video. No. What was mentioned was this race still counts as an attempt in championships, so you can't farm them. And event jokers cannot be used to improve championship results, but they can still be used in daily races, as far as I interpreted that as. So, why the controversy? Well, people claiming pay to win. Now, yes and no, in my opinion. Pay to win, if you directly translate that, then yes. But to me, the term pay to win also means paying for an advantage that other people won't if you don't pay. And that's where I think this is. This is an advantage that people that don't have the subscription have, and that to me is bad and shouldn't be ever the case, because it is a slight advantage. It's not a race position advantage, it won't have proven a result, but it is wiping any deduction in driver rank and safety rank, right? Now, this could be good if you had a race with a dirty driver, yes. But I do feel this is then trying to inflate the features of the subscription model a little bit, just so they can, just for the sake of it, right? But I don't think that's the primary concern here? The primary concern here also is this can encourage bad driving that the sim already has, just for you to remove any penalty, right? To me, it's part of racing. You know, whether it's your fault or not, things happen, incidents happen, and you have to live with those consequences. This negates that. And this is also seems to be gamifying the sim. This is meant to be a sim. This isn't meant to be an arcade racer. This is a full sim that is intended for people with wheels and rigs and all that kind of thing. Right? Honestly, I don't think it's needed. I don't think anybody asked for this. But they're doing it anyway. And here's the thing. If someone knows they can remove the consequences every 10 races, does that change how they approach a race? And I would argue yes. It encourages people to be more aggressive and take so many more risks than they would normally do without it. And I think that's an important distinction that should be made. And your driver rating and your safety rating, your DR, your SR, going down to me is the motivator to get you back out there, learn from any mistakes you would have made, and then get back to it. The Joker system cancels this out every 10 races, and it's just one of those things where it's like, what's the point then? You know? Because you go towards it, you deal with the consequences, bang, that's it, you know? Okay, right, I'll learn from those mistakes. The solution to this is simple. Either you allow everybody to have the feature, with, let's say, only holding one Joker, max, and earned maybe every 15 races of 10, or remove it completely. Because I think, regardless if everybody has it, it is still going to have those people that are going to try to, you know, get around the system and sort of abuse it a bit. And have it as an excuse of, I can drive dirty then. The thing is, I think the thinking behind this has good intentions. As they stated in the announcement video, you know, the examples they made was things not going your way, crash at turn 1, equipment failure, cat jumped on your lap. But I think it has a huge potential to be abused and like how the devs intended it to be, and gives an advantage over to whether this happens to light players. So the question to you guys is, would you use an event Joker if you had one available? Or should competitive racing always have consequences? I think they should have consequences. They should always have consequences, and this Joker system sort of negates that. Now, those opinions that I've just made were part of my notes pre-update on the 24th of July. So let me tell you what they said on part of that blog post, by the way, which is on the Le Mans Automat website. If you do want to have a look at it in full, I'll be just taking out some bits and I will be fully quoting them, by the way. So they've said, we're making Jokers available to all players, regardless of subscription status. Now, that's what I suggested. Good view, because they obviously want to keep this feature. They say, we still think having Jokers available for the times that your internet fails or your hardware dies is valuable. We also think they can be of help if you encounter an issue we've created. Of course, we're working relentlessly to ensure this becomes less relevant. I get it. You know, tech can be tech and it can fail, or a server can fail, or your internet can fail, and it's not the dev's fault. So yes, this is where the good intention comes in, and I agree with that. But I still think the overarching aspect of it is still negative and shouldn't happen. They've also said they're increasing the gaps between earning cards. It will take 10 races to earn your first, 20 for your second, and 30 for your third. Jokers are meant to be rare and valuable. You can't use them routinely. I feel this is more of a band-aid, a bandage on a bigger issue. Yes, it makes the community more happier because you can't say it's pay to win anymore because everybody has it. And if you've got an increased gap between them, it's more harder to obtain them. They've also continued to say, you'll need to give careful consideration to their use. We'll be monitoring the usage and tweaking the time to earn the Jokers as necessary through Race OS in the coming weeks and months. In my opinion, I think you should only have one Joker. If they are absolutely sure they want to keep this feature, and they definitely want to keep it, I would say don't have a stack. You have one Joker card. And every time you use it, it goes up. So the 10, 20, 30, and then it goes up to 40, 50, and it keeps increasing. Maybe not, actually. Maybe not. Maybe, you know, like that was like a thought just then, and I was like, actually, that won't be a good idea because there's going to be somebody that's maybe used it twice or 3 times, and yeah, maybe you have a cap, right? Maybe you have a cap of, you know, of it 3 times or 4 times, you know, before it, you know, because now my question is let's say you have 3, you use all 3, right? Does that mean your next one will only take 10 races? Like, what happens when it's, you know, when you use one? Is the 4th one, so you have 2 left, does that go back to 10 races? Or will that continue to be 30? They haven't said of the rotation. I'm assuming it will go back to 10. Right? Surely. I'm thinking. Yeah. They've also said some more stuff. For those of you worrying about decreasing driving standards because you think other players will use Jokers to mitigate it, it takes many hours of gameplay to earn one and gets longer after your first and second. Additionally, badge bans and safety rank are still in effect, and our new protest system and new dedicated shooting will be handling these players. Now, this is good. This is good news. But I still think people will still try this regardless. It's one of those things where I'm just not sure that this will be enough, right? They've continued to say, we are determined to make this release the strongest step forward for helping us get on top of poor driving etiquette. It's a sim racing problem we believe can be tackled. And one of the last things that I'm going to point out in this blog post is we don't want to delay the Tuesday release for this change. You will likely see some UI that refers to the subscription status for Jokers, but you'll be earning Jokers in the background, and we will likely have a hotfix later that week to showcase this correctly. That's a good little disclosure. I like that. What I do like about this is the devs have said, we've seen your feedback and we're going to do something about it before the update, not after. That's a really good green flag to me. That's really good. But I still think the overall aspect of this is incorrect. Going back to my point of, hey, actually, you need to live with your consequences, right? So as I said earlier, if they are really sure they want to continue this, they want to have this feature, don't have stacks, just have one, right? Just have one, it caps at the 30 race to earn it, and then it goes back to 10 races again after you've done your third, and the system just notes how many you've used, you know? It's as simple as that. The thing is, nobody else has done this sort of system before in terms of negating something. The thing is, first-person shooters tend to do this if someone was banned. So if you were in a race that, sorry, not a race, if you were in a match that someone was banned, the likelihood is your rank that you lost would get reset to before that race. And maybe that's something they should do for Le Mans Ultimate, where if someone has been so extreme where they've been banned, then either the people that are affected, if they can identify who was affected, I think they can with replays, because the new shooting system includes a replay automatically. So the people who are affected get their rank reset. And if they can't, which isn't the case because we know this, no, because this would be the first-person shooter way, which would be everybody in the match translated to everybody in the race, would get their rank reset. I think anybody involved with somebody that's been banned or suspended or anything like that should have their rank reset anyway. But that's just me. Let me know your thoughts on Jokers. Let me know what you're thinking about it, because it is an interesting topic. Obviously, they've sort of walked it half back, but not fully back like a lot of people would still want. It still doesn't sit right with me at all. Racing requires and has consequences in real life and in sim. And if we want to be simulating real-life motorsport, that's exactly what it should be. There are certain things that we don't simulate, and that's fine, but this is not one such thing, because this doesn't exist in real life. On the same topic of Le Mans Ultimate, I also wanted to touch on the new Track Pass, because we're getting 6 US circuits across 3 separate packs. And each pack contains 2 circuits. Pack 1 launches, when this update launches by the way, on the 28th of July. And it includes Daytona International Speedway and Laguna Seca. They are officially licensed, or they've said Daytona is officially licensed and scanned. They didn't specifically say that about Laguna Seca. I'm assuming that would be the same as well. This is interesting because this goes against what this game entirely is. Because Le Mans Ultimate is meant to be the official FIA WEC game. But this then expands its portfolio outside that. So this is more going into IMSA territory, which is the American Endurance Racing Series for those people that don't know. And WEC is the World Endurance Championship, right? They don't have an IMSA license. They've just said this is a track pack or a track pass, because there will be a season pass where you get everything, every pack, or you can buy the packs individually. So, yes, that is certainly a choice, but I don't think with the licensing with WEC, they are restricted to it, which is why they can do this, and it's quite good because it means they can expand their roster of things, which is quite nice. And I'm quite happy that this is coming because my favourite American circuit is Daytona and Laguna Seca. I'm hoping for Watkins Glen as well. I'm hoping for Watkins Glen. That is on my wish list. Hopefully it will be in one of the future packs. I can only hope, right? The pricing of this has also had a bit of a controversial turn. Now, I have a rough conversion, but still, take that with a pinch of salt. So the track pack is $20, so £15. Not too bad, but 2 tracks. To be fair, the track quality is fantastic from Studio 397, but still, we've had previous packs with cars and tracks. This is just tracks, so it depends on the licensing costs that they got, I suppose, and the overhead that they need, but I would say 15 quid for 2 tracks is okay. The complete US track pass is priced at $44.99, which is £34, by the way. So people were saying this is actually more than the base game, and yes it is, because for us, for the UK, it's £32.99. And if that conversion is correct, and that's 34, it's slightly more expensive than the base game. Slightly concerning, but that is the track pass. That's not just for one pack, that's for all 3. So that's for 6 tracks. If you think about it in that sense, I suppose it's worth it. They have said the season pass provides a 25% discount compared when buying every pack individually. That's still pretty good. And both the individual packs and season pass will receive a 10% launch discount during the first week. So if you're not sure about the cost, if you're okay with it 10% less, then, I would say that's okay. I am a little bit cautious the fact that it is potentially going to be more expensive than the base game. That's a sort of little bit of a warning sign of maybe it should be a little bit less, not by much, but we don't know the overhead that they need, the licensing costs, but I don't think the licensing costs for these American tracks should be any different from, say, AMS2 that cost way less and you get way more for those packs. So I don't know. And obviously the Race Control Pro subscribers get this automatically when it releases. Yeah. So that's the pricing. I think the pricing's okay. And I don't think they've done a launch discount before. As far as I'm aware, they've never done a launch discount. So that's something new that they've introduced, which I think puts some people at ease if you're not sure of that cost. But let me know what you think about the cost of those DLC. Should the full season pass for all 6 tracks over the 3 packs, should they be more than the base game? Let me know. That concludes my little talk about Le Mans Ultimate and the event joker and the DLC that is coming. Next, we have Steam's new gifting features I wanted to talk about. Now, I wanted to talk about this for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's quite interesting. Second of all, I think this might go under the radar of a lot of PC gamers, and I want to highlight it to you so you know about it, because it's quite interesting for those. It's very quality of life is this, and to me this is another Steam W. So, the first thing that they've said is about guest checkout. So they've reminded us saying in 2024 they added guest checkout, which lets a family member or friend make a gift purchase without needing to create a Steam account. This feature was limited to digital gift cards and hardware purchases at the time. Now guest checkout can be used to buy any game on Steam. I didn't know this. I didn't realize we had guest checkout. But you can, which is kind of good, because if you have a non-Steam friend, they don't need to create a Steam account. So, I don't know. Let's see. How about my friend Jay, right? He's on his PlayStation 5. And let's say, I don't know, he feels generous around Christmas time and he wants to gift me something. Well, he doesn't need to, because guest checkout. Yes, but obviously this has now been increased to digital gift cards to everything on Steam. Digital gift cards and hardware purchases. Don't forget that. And also what's interesting is you can send a wishlist share link to a friend or family, and they can purchase gifts directly from that list without needing a Steam account themselves. And if a guest wants to send a gift as a surprise, they can send it to any email address instead. This is also sort of new and sort of interesting, because if you don't know their Steam account, but you know their email address, well, hey, I think that's really cool. It's really quality of life, but it's really cool for gifting. There is more stuff on gift to email. As I've said, if you don't know their account, that's great. The email will include a link to let them sign in to accept the gift. So the email address to their Steam can be different, so you don't need to worry about that. But any gift email not accepted within 30 days will be automatically refunded, so they cannot be scheduled for future delivery. The recipient of the gift must also live in the same country as the purchaser. That, I suppose, is the only downside, but I think they've improved it enough to be really good for gifting. Next of all, cross-region gifting. Now, this affects one of my friends, Sean. He's from Canada, and he has always struggled with gifting stuff to our friend group, because obviously he has to go and get a key from CD Keys or something else and hope and pray that nobody else has gifted it to somebody. But no more. So buying a gift for a friend in a higher price region, in the past, digital gift cards were the solution for gifting, but that required you to know the full price of the game in your friend's region. Another problem. You can now gift games directly to your friend. Steam will calculate the cost in your friend's region at checkout. Your friend needs to be on your Steam friends list to send this type of gift. That's pretty damn good. Especially if you're one of these people that likes or has lots of international friends and friends from other countries. This is really great. This is a really good quality of life change, and I like this. Do you know what else I like? This next bit that they've done. Direct from wishlist. You can now send a digital gift card or gift a game directly from someone's wishlist. I tested this the other day while in a call with one of my friends. Oh, yes. You can literally go on someone's wishlist and say, add to cart, please. From there. It's so small, but it's so big for quality of life. And you no longer need to be friends on Steam to send gifts. Very cool. And you can create a shared wishlist link that is filtered to specific games. Clicking on the share button at the top of your wishlist gives you a unique URL to share with friends and family. People with the link can view and share the list. Even if your wishlist is set to private, links can be revoked at any time. And when a family or friend member clicks on your shared wishlist link, they choose to gift you a game, the gift recipient in the cart will be pre-populated with your information. And the sharing link will only show games in your current filtered view. For example, you might want to share my birthday list with your family. From that shared link, your family can give games directly to you even if they don't have a Steam account. They've also done some more improvements. Ability to create and assign custom categories to games on your wish list. So you might want to create a custom category for your game you saw featured in cool events, games played with a controller, or even games you have in mind for somebody else. And you can filter to a category by simply clicking on the category name at the top of your wish list, or next to the My Categories area of each game, and quickly add to your frequent categories from the On Wishlist drop-down on store pages. Customize wishlist notifications to only be sent to certain categories as well. This is really good. They've also improved the search experience of the wishlist page and enabled autocomplete for faster results. You can now highlight when a game on your wishlist has a demo available. This is really neat and clear now. You'll also be notified when a demo is released for a game in your wish lists. Micro trailers are now shown when hovering each game's capsule image. So that's just the small image on your wish lists. And navigating to and from your wish list in a browser, mobile, Steam Cloud, or SteamOS does a better job of bringing you back to what you were looking at before. This is some really good changes, and I really like this. And I think this is in relation also to the fact that, if you haven't heard, Steam is removing physical gift cards from stores due to scalping. So people buying them in bulk and then selling them for a higher cost online. So they say the stock will be out by the end of 2026. So by the end of the year, you won't find any. You might be lucky to find some right now, but that will be limiting. So I think this ability to gift games like this is really good, because it means people that don't have a Steam account, people that do want to gift you something but don't necessarily need to, that's fine. They can go and do that. Yeah. So my question is to everybody, and this actually links to last episode's podcast. Do you still gift physical games, or have digital gifts being completely replaced them? Right? Because you could have a preference, right? You could absolutely have a preference. I think this is real good. I'm in a friend group where we gift stuff for birthdays and Christmas, right? And this is really useful for a lot of reasons. Obviously, one of our friends is Canadian, so no longer figuring out the cost or the ability to gift stuff, because hey, it's, because all this is live at the moment, live right now. This was a blog post on 22nd of July that they launched, and I thought this was really interesting, so I wanted to talk about it on the podcast. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on all this on whatever podcasting platform you're on. You might be seeing me here on YouTube with the video version, or you might be listening on Spotify, Amazon, or Apple. And that concludes this week's podcasts. If you've enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to give me a follow, give a rating, and a review on whatever you're watching or listening to me on. The podcast is every Sunday, by the way. Or I try to. I've been able to do it so far. If you do want to stay up to date on the podcast, you can follow our socials. We have Instagram and YouTube. You simply have to search Fandoms Edge Podcast, will pop up. And that is that. So I will see you in the next one on the Fandoms Edge.